We are back with the 32-team NFL franchise of the 2007-2008 NFL season. Here it is, the St. Louis Rams recap. Yes, the Rams went 7-9 in this remake of the season. They had some bright moments, they had some challenging moments, but the most important thing to take from the season was week 1, Steven Jackson was injured. And so that created some new problems for the team. But there you go with their passing offense. We'll talk about that first. Mark Bulger had over 3,100 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He's always been a solid quarterback. He's about a 90 overall. And he did the best he could with this team. However, I felt they had more of a disappointing showing. They had Isaac Bruce. They had Torrey Holt. But they just were not able to be as competitive as I thought they should be. Here you go, Isaac Bruce, over 1,000 yards receiving with 7 receiving touchdowns. Their play action fake, you'll see him get that touchdown in that corner. A lot of nice slant routes with him. And Isaac Bruce did retire at the end of the season. So this was his last season as an NFL player, number 80 right there. What was nice, I was able to use the old colors of the Rams, because I didn't want to use their Los Angeles colors, so I was able to revert back to the older ones. There you see Torrey Holt, who did leave them in the offseason for the Dallas Cowboys. He did have some nice plays there. I mean, that's a really big one right there. Nearly 700 yards in the season. Drew Bennett, a serviceable kind of slot receiver. Had about 500 yards, 2 touchdowns. Another one of Bennett. There's that touchdown right through the middle between 3 different defenders. Randy McMichael, the tight end, nearly 600 yards receiving. Beautiful catch right there in the back of the end zone. Had to use the other replay in Madden to show off that beautiful play. Right there, just him shedding tackles. I love that camera view. I wish they could show every replay in that view. But he was a very proactive player here for the Rams, allowing them to convert on third down, get those corner touchdowns, goal line touchdowns. And speaking of Mark Bulger, he also did leave them in the offseason as well. Ended up going to the Carolina Panthers. They had their rookie quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick, who was going to start for them in the next upcoming season, which there'll be more on that in future videos. There you go. There's Fitzpatrick throwing a touchdown. I think that's Hedgecock. So when Steven Jackson went down, Ricky Williams was signed, and he did rush for over 1,100 yards, 9 rushing touchdowns. I was incredibly impressed with his explosiveness, his ability to score, break tackles. Very pleased with how he handled himself as a runner. As you can see, another huge run. I think there was one game he was hit 200 yards rushing because he would get that outside run and he'd beat the defenders. And so I thought he was a very suitable replacement. I didn't pick his number, but he was number 38 and he's got the dreadlocks, so it looked like I had a Steven Jackson type running back with the Rams. And so I just kind of went with it. And when I was trying to sign running backs, Steven Jackson did not accept the offer I was giving him. And so we ended up going to the Green Bay Packers in the offseason. However, Ricky Williams did sign for a much cheaper contract because he is an older running back. In real life, I believe he was playing for the Miami Dolphins in this season after kind of bouncing around the league a little bit. But I think the Rams was a very good home for him. I think it was a right fit. He was a free agent, and this team needed a running back to spark their rushing attack. As you can see, another huge run, just a juke, gain some more yards. But in addition to Ricky Williams, the rookie Brian Leonard also was very impressive on the ground. As you can see there, he was good on good receiving a good receiving running back. He had about 350 rushing yards. I see his role expanding moving into the next season since Ricky Williams is older. I see Brian Leonard taking on kind of like that power receiving running back, kind of like a Peyton Hillis or a McCaffrey type style runner here in the early 2008 season coming up. But look at him just breaking tackles and mowing people over. So the rushing attack was a pleasant surprise from the Rams. And here we have the Rams as the top 9 total offensive yards. They also were a bit lower with total passing just being number 20, but they were the top 7th ranked rushing team. When it comes to points per game, they were right there in the middle at 16. Then as for their defense, they were 28th in least yards allowed. Then passing yards, they were a little bit better. But then you see their least rushing yards allowed. They're the worst in the league at 32. And when it comes down to least points allowed, they were 25th. A lot of things that they have to improve on for next season. But there you have it, the 2007-2008 St. Louis Rams.